right, Larry, thank you. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the New Orleans Saints and the Seattle Seahawks. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. It's Kessler. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
That's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Working from the gun, Kessler. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. The target that time, Michael Thomas. That'll bring up second down. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. On second down, here's Kessler. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Now it's Lockett. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Flushed out right. Oh, he's going to take a shot. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Cole Richardson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up with...
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Malik McDowell busting through to get him for a loss of 6. I know some of the talk after last week's loss was the O-line struggles. They gave up 4 sacks. He got hit here and taken down again, so that's something to monitor.
It is something to monitor, but they've got to help their offensive line out. Maybe a little bit different play calling, right? Draws, screens, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quicker, maybe some quick game passes. All of that to try and help slow down the pass rush and make things easier on their offensive line.
And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass.
Let's go. 3-19.
From the shotgun, Kessler. And he's got some space here. It'll be a gain of 9, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Dustin Colquitt now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Returnable for Lockett. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. Complete. Richardson has it. A nice gain of 21 yards. Here's Thomas Rawls with his first carry. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Wilson. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. How about the first quarter he's putting together out wide? Pretty impressive.
I think that he likes the fact that we're playing this as a day game. You know, some guys, they respond better in the evenings. For some reason, it builds up. For this guy, day game, and he is off and running. You're exactly right. 100 might be conservative with the start that he's had here in the first quarter.
Yeah, by the numbers, he's on pace for 200-plus right now. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They go again with Rawls. Down right around the 25. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
That is caught right at the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
Throwing is Wilson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Nick Fairley in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
On 2nd down, Wilson being chased out left. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
And it's 3rd down and goal from the 4. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. This defense bending but not breaking. It's a gain of 3. It's now 4th and goal.
Let's just give credit where it belongs. The defensive front has out-leveraged the offensive guys trying to block them. We often say low man wins in tough situations. That's exactly what's happened here. 3 straight runs, and they haven't been able to get into the end zone.
So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive only yields 3 points.
the defense stiffened once their backs were to the end zone, and they were able to hold them to just 3.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Saints coming out now to take the field.
And this is their third drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
6 yards on the pickup, and it's a second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Well, that's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. Second and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through. And has a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's
a nickel look by Seattle on 3rd down.
Yep, 5 defensive backs now.
All right, here we go.
Shotgun snap, Kessler. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Looking to throw on first is Kessler. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Mike Bennett in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well, and that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They get a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Kessler, he's got his man. It's Brandon Coleman. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that would help him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
A nice, strong run there for Rawls. His coaches back in high school in Flint, Michigan, you know what his nickname was?
No, what was it?
The Train. The man can break some tackles on occasion.
Well, it makes sense when you watch runs like that, because when you're trying to deal with a train, you're supposed to get out of the way, right? And if you don't, you're going to get bruised up trying to tackle him. That's the type of runner he is. He can pop people as he goes by them.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. So in the 2nd quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. Wilson, end zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Now we'll see what Michael Thomas and the rest of the offense has in store here. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the 2nd quarter, and they're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion, anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. And he is going to lose yardage here. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Michael Bennett's versatility, being able to play any position along the defensive front, allows him to make those types of plays. He finds good matchups and gets into the offensive backfield.
And there it works for a tackle for loss. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
2 minutes remain here in the 1st half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. We're just 2 minutes away from sending you to Orlando for Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report, so don't forget about that coming up shortly.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a halftime without him, and we thank him for doing the highlights. Let's go get a snack.
And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. That's taken on the 25. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, an update from there. And the lead has gotten even bigger. The Texans, they've got it in cruise control right now. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here.
First down, this is Rawls. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
All runners count on their eyes to find the gaps and creases, to find open space. There was absolutely none on that one. Totally swallowed up on that play.
They stay on the ground. Rawls again. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The Saints with an extra defensive back here on 3rd on the field.
Could they blitz?
To throw is Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Richardson. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you get a chance to come back to him when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. So we are, well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. This one fielded at the 5. And some space here.
And that's the type of return that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense now. They've got to go out on the field almost like it's a sudden change, almost like it's a turnover. They've got to go out there and try and stop them. But, boy, what a tough spot they're in.
On first down, Wilson. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. A Seahawk first down. Wilson to his big target, Graham.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
Now it's Wilson. And it is caught at the 7-yard line. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal. This offense so far on third down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. From the gun, it's Wilson. And he's got the big tight end, Graham. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham, his 4th touchdown on the year. And this Seahawks offense continues to pour it on.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes, carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. To return it, Alvin Kamara. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And in the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. No chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Throw left side complete. It's Newton. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. They'll run it now out of the gun. And, he coughed it up. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
The drive begins with a run by Rawls. There goes Thomas Rawls. A big run that time by Rawls. 55 yards. One of the reasons that this team is on this win streak, big runs like that.
When you see runs like that broken off, you know this is a team that's confident running the football. A big reason why this streak has occurred, they've come together, had a plan, and stuck to it. And when you get big-time runs like that, makes it easier to stay with it, doesn't it?
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. Play clock winding down. On second down, Rawls. A nice display of power, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. It'll be a gain of 4, but it'll bring us now to a 3rd and goal.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
So still 7 yards to go here on 3rd down. It's 3rd and goal. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, but they're still well short of the goal line with 4th down now looming.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. So give them 3 there. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they couldn't punch it in.
And credit this defense, too. That was the old bend but don't break approach, but it kept the offense out of the end zone.
That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here?
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Now that's how you start to get back in the good graces of your head coach. Remember, he fumbled on the last possession. How about the faith they showed him, giving him the ball again, and he repaid them, picking up a first down.
And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. First and 10, here's Kessler. It's complete. Fleener, right side. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Here we go. 3-19.
Kessler now on first down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Brandon Coleman was the intended target. And now it's 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Kessler now to throw. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 7 yards on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. The Saints on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. Now it's Kessler. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Here's Dustin Colquitt now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. And out now come the Seahawks. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. Brandon's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. But you really want to be is Moderado. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. This is Crozes on the carry. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. Storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout.